Colonel, and he is a Republican candidate for U.S. Senate in the state of Delaware. Yes, a Republican and a conservative in the state of Delaware behind enemy lines. Happy to have on here Mr. John Shulli. John, how are you, my friend?
Great, thank you very much. Hey, just a quick correction. I'm not retired yet. I'm still in the Army Reserves, and I'm a instructor at the Army War College at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So I do that part-time. But I have 1 year left before I retire. Once you hit 30 as a colonel, you're out. So almost there.
Gotcha. Almost there. Well, thank you for your service and man being in there for that long and doing what you do, man. That's amazing. And obviously, being in the military, you've been fighting behind enemy lines for a while. It sounds like on the political front, you're fighting behind enemy lines as well. State of Delaware, very deep blue area. How is it running as a conservative Republican in the state of Delaware?
Easier than you think. Now, you'll have the blue folks say you're never going to win, and you have the red folks say you're never going to win. I'm like, what? It's crazy. How can change happen in Delaware? So last fall, just talking to some folks in my neighborhood, and I live in a neighborhood that's closely attached to the Chancery Court system here in Delaware, which brings in almost 50% of our income for Delaware. So it's very important. So a lot of high-end lawyers and bankers, what have you. And so I bring them into my man cave one by one, and I just have a chat. Here's a beer, let's talk. And like, John, I wear the D in my armband because I need it for contracting. I can't show myself as a Republican or even donate because they'll see my name on the donate list and then I'll get blacklisted. So there's a latent underground desire for a conservative because it was in the past where you had blue candidates, blue politicians. They kind of sway within the centrist, rainbow collection. But now, as the DSA folks start coming in, the Democratic Socialists of America, through their front candidates, here in Delaware they call them the Working Families Party. They're attached, they're subordinate to the DSA. They're making inroads in the city council here in Wilmington, in our state house, still small, but they're scaring the heck out of the Democrats here. And whatever they say, they get. So the DSA they have a foothold in Delaware, and they will grow. Maybe getting too deep with you here, but for Delaware, there's been a changing of the guard. So as you know, Joe Biden was running this state for quite a long time. Well, he and his cadre are dead, dying, or retired. They're out of scope. Now you have, I'll call them left of center folks who are running things. But their politics are guided by the DSA. When a Bandami does whatever, they follow. Or at least they publicly say they're following. So now, I'm talking to my buddies in the man cave, like, John, we want a strong Republican, just a strong conservative, to push back the madness. Now, outside the man cave, we'll say, well, yeah, Republican is bad, Trump is bad, what have you. But once they get behind the curtain, if they know they can depend on a Republican conservative who's not crazy, who has a good background, they're going to vote for me. So trying to convince the Republican Party here in Delaware that that's the way forward, that we just show a sharp contrast to the crazy that is the DSA who's moving into the state, and that the traditional Democrats are helpless to stop. That is
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, and it sounds really encouraging for sure. I mean, obviously, you guys are neighbors to what's going on in Maine, and we just saw the announcement this week of Graham Plattner that's officially suspended his campaign after all those allegations, but he was the golden child. He was the bread and butter of the Democrat Party with this new Democrat Socialist movement that's coming in waves, and you're saying that the average, the blue dog Democrat is starting to get frustrated and be run out of the party essentially with these socialists that are taking over, that now it almost seems like the Republican Party, at least on the East Coast, is becoming that wide umbrella, accepting some of these average blue dog Democrats in because, well, the socialists are running these guys out.
Exactly. But again, you have to have a sharp contrast. It can't just be a light blue guy and cross your fingers and trust me kind of thing. Being a strong, day after day saying, I support the American system of economics. Bring that back. Bring that Hamiltonian, that Lincolnian style of economic, which is what Trump's doing. He's bringing back manufacturing to the United States. Once you have great jobs, a lot of problems solve themselves. So when mom and dad are stressed because they're working a lot of jobs, the kids feel that energy, that negative energy, they act it out in school. Teachers are frustrated, and it leaves an opening for the left. Like, oh, we can fix the schools by, what's that, the warm embrace of collectivism. And so the kids start being taught the state way of family. The state is your family. So reversing that, when mom and dad have great jobs, and maybe just one of them have to work, and maybe mom or dad gets to stay home and take care of the kids, lots of love, lots of attention. Now the kid can go to school and learn. Now the teacher in school has a bunch of kids who want to learn. Her job's a lot easier now. She doesn't worry about the drama that happens at home that's being brought into the classroom. That's progress. It all starts at the economic layer of our economy, of our society.
Yeah. Is that what most people are focused on when you go and knock on doors and talk to people for the campaign and you're talking about the interest of individuals? Is it mostly economic issues right now, the quote unquote affordability that Mom Donnie tried to bring up, and now we've accepted it? We've embraced the idea of the affordability plan, which is why we're doing deregulation and tax cuts and getting government out of the way. Has that been the main priority for people when you talk to them?
Main priority is price, for sure. And it's frustration for their schools. Because if you have to spend more money to send your kid to a private college, that's money that's taken out of the system, their own money, and money that would have been spent in the real economy to do great things. So folks keep asking me, excuse me, John, how are you going to fix the schools? And so they're looking for this combination, this special combination of, excuse me, as I take a drink. Pardon me. What's the special combination of maybe tweak the school district, add more money, take more money away, more bonuses for a teacher? All these things are irrelevant. Folks keep asking me, what's the right combination? And I turn back on them and go, you need great jobs. When the Chinese, the globalists, sucked all the manufacturing jobs out of the United States, this gaping hole was filled by the service economy. We don't need any more Amazon delivery guys. We don't need any more baristas. It doesn't pay enough. You know, kids coming out of college, you know, crap degrees are baristas. They're the ones voting for Madami because they're the most frustrated. It's like, I did the right thing, went to college. Yeah, my degree was kind of weak, or maybe it wasn't. But the economy, because we've had all these manufacturing jobs sucked out of the nation, my degree's worthless. I'm a barista now. But bringing those, what I do have a hard time telling folks or putting in their mind, because we are humans. We have $18 trillion coming into the economy because of all the deals that Trump has made over the last year. Now that money doesn't move quick, but it's going to move quick enough that by midterms, most of America is going to feel the energy of job offers, higher paying jobs, numbers go up. That will move the nation.
It's a really great point. We're talking with John Shulli. He's a candidate for U.S. Senate in the great state of Delaware. You can find his information on this website at shulli.org, shulli.org. Right now, for the campaign trail, with what you're campaigning on, and overall around the nation, what do Republicans need to focus on? Is it just the economy and affordability issues, or right now when we have a bit of a frustration with Republican voters of Congress not getting things done and this lackadated mindset that they have, not being able to pass the Save America Act, the Reconciliation Bill 3.0 potentially, healthcare reform? There's so many issues that we could be focusing on, and of course, the most productive administration that we've seen in modern American history, with Donald Trump having 400 plus executive orders on so many different issues in the past year alone. What do you think would really resonate with Congress leading up to election time to really energize that Republican base?
Whenever I post anything about the Save America Act, I get instant reaction. Like, in just milliseconds, folks are piling onto my feed going, yes, this must happen. Kick out the globalists. I mean, everything is laser focused on the Save America Act. So when John Thune puts out some happy tweet, hey, all is good, look, I passed this particular piece of legislation, but it's not the Save America Act, he gets slammed online. Folks are frustrated. So when I go on the campaign trail here in Delaware, I get the top layer, hey, our schools need help, electricity's way too high, fix it. But they also say, our elections seem screwed up. We have to regain our sovereignty. So that sovereignty push is the main antidote to this Mandami movement that's happening. If we don't fix that Save America Act, fix our elections, give the perception that they are fair. Right now, the perception is they are not fair. We see California is still counting after a month of the election. That is air quote legal in California, but is it right? It's perceived as being fixed or rigged. We got to get rid of that. We can't have a republic where we're just thinking the votes are being counted correctly.
Yeah, and I hate to narrow down an entire election to one particular issue because we have done so many great things over the past year, but you're right. I mean, if we were able to pass the Save America Act, I mean, I think that would boost the energy massively for Republican voters right now. And not even that, but independents, Democrats, when you see 80% of Americans overall that support the idea of the America Save Act for sure. John, I want to talk to you because you have a big platform and you talk about a lot of the great things here, but you have on your website one particular topic on the top of your website outside of your platform specifically for MAHA and that Make America Healthy Again movement.
Yes.
What is your take on this? This has been one of the biggest healthcare reforms that we've seen in health reforms overall in the nation in a very long time. How important is the MAHA movement and what's been the response on that East Coast for this idea?
It's a no-brainer. When folks, if I tell folks, hey, let's fix the food, like, yeah, of course. It's a no-brainer. Folks assume this is a given. This is not a choice. Do you want bad food or good food? Folks are frustrated that their food they get has all these ingredients they don't understand. Folks don't understand why there are vaccine mandates for 1, 2, 3. Why do vaccine companies have this legal protection, this immunity shield for whatever they make, particularly for vaccines? There's a lot of questions why. So folks, to scratch their head and go, this should be a slam dunk. Why is there this red dye that can cause cancer in our Fruit Loops? It's common sense. So folks just say, fix it, John. There shouldn't be an issue. And the fact that it's, RFK's been in the seat for about a year now, and he's still grinding against the machine, tells you all you need to know about the profit motive of big food and big pharma. They're resisting it, to what's the saying? To delay is to deny. So they're delaying RFK as much as possible just to wait out this administration. But I have news for you guys.
Like that's kind of the biggest, it seems like it's one of the biggest monsters out there, right? I mean, big food, big pharma, and big insurance. Those are like the biggest monsters that you can tackle. We're chipping away at it, but that's going to be a long time battle, isn't it?
It is. And I think they're gambling on, I think they're hoping that 2028, an AOC gets in or someone are crazy, and then they can do whatever they want afterwards. They can forget about this quote nightmare of the Trump administration. There's no way. Vance or Rubio or the red wave will continue in the administration, in the executive branch for, I think, a generation. So the fighting they're doing now, they're just crossing their fingers, hope the midterm suck for the Republicans. It's not. It's going to be a slam dunk. They're hoping AOC gets in. I can't imagine folks hoping AOC becomes president. It just blows my mind. But they're hoping because they look at their paycheck. Look at if you're big pharma, if you're big food, trillions of dollars are at stake. That's a lot of money for a lot of the power elite, the globalists of the world who are depending on this global supply chain to be the free trade avenue without protections between nations. They want those protections gone so they could arbitrage our labor. And so we've already seen that story play out with our Rust Belt, with Middle America being just disintegrated because of, quote, free trade.
It's a wild time. I tell you, last question for you, my friend, and I appreciate your time very much as you're on the campaign trail. This election is coming down to it in November, and you guys obviously have a very late primary, September 15th, essentially 1 month transition from battling amongst ourselves to turning into a general election campaign in the end of September and October. But when we go to November's election, do you think that this election essentially, not just there in Delaware, but across the nation, do you think this boils down to the basic principles of now, this is a battle for traditional capitalism and free market here in the United States versus socialism that's trying to take over? Is that what this election boils down to for the midterms of 2026?
It is. That's how I'm reading it. And that's why it's so important that 18 trillion moving in, the tariffs making their effect of building factories back in the United States, the one big beautiful bill, all the tax incentives to make things happen, that's going to culminate as the midterms approach, and that will show a strong contrast between the Californias of the United States, the Madamis of the United States. When voters see that clear contrast, they're going to scratch their chin and go, I'm going with America. Click. That's my prediction.
I love it. I really hope so. That is a movement, and it sounds like from what you said earlier, is that Democrats are, the mainstream Democrats are frustrated with the process and how things have been going with that socialist revolution within their party. It is John Shulli, candidate for U.S. Senate in the state of Delaware. Find him online at shulli.org. That's shulli.org, and find all the great information. John, thank you so much for coming on the program, my friend. Good luck on the campaign trail. What a wild time it is. We'd love to see you up there in Washington, D.C. Got to get you back on again soon.
Excellent. Thank you.